Hey, what's up, guys? Welcome to the sprint and happy day after the Eclipse Monday. How's everybody doing? I wonder if everybody's still in their same right mind, right set of mind right now. But I will say, don't laugh at me. I guess next time I have to see an eclipse will have to be when I'm like 52-ish or something like that, because guess who slept through it by accident? Me. And it was so crazy. It was because I was trying to make sure I stayed up for it. Let me stop playing. I took a nap, but I told myself, surely I'm not going to oversleep. I'm going to wake up by at least the peak time. And nope, my mom was blowing my phone up. And next thing I know, it was 3:50. And I was just like, what time is it? Huh? What time? What did I do? What did I miss? And apparently I missed the eclipse, but it was okay because everybody, you saw how cloudy it was yesterday, and I just happened to be in a very cloudy area. So my defense is that I'm pretty sure I wasn't going to see anything, but I don't know. I will never know. But fortunately, I will know through your pictures because you guys sent it in, and some of you guys got a lot of cool shots. So we're going to get to that later on in the sprint. And something else we'll get into later on in the sprint. You already know we do the stories that is the good stories that are coming out of the very heavy news cycle sometimes. Stories that are happening in our community, happening that could benefit another part of our community, and also to have you scratching your head and sometimes thinking to yourself, oh my God, get your heart going, heart racing, and all that stuff. For example, this is the story that we're talking about later on. If you see in your screen, you notice that these are still frames from surveillance footage. A homeowner tries his best to defend his vehicle, keep it from being stolen by a thief. But get this, what happens is the unthinkable. The getaway driver turns his vehicle into a weapon, and next thing you know, homeowner ends up on top of said vehicle. So we're going to get into this story, the whole breakdown, coming up later on in the sprint. You already know it's going to be a juicy story. But first, we got to get to this. This is one of those stories, again, raising awareness about something very evil that our communities are faced with, but someone trying to figure out a way to do good despite this. So, Sexual Assault Awareness Month, and one domestic abuse survivor put into action an idea that aims to help others who deal with the same trauma. Check it out. Isha Himes started a class at Matchbout Gym in Chesapeake called Strong Her to help other women find strength. She turned to boxing to help her heal, and she says that with every punch they throw, these women are growing stronger.
We can do a lot of things with healing and, God and making sure you get the spiritual things, but there's that physical stuff that you keep in, and to be able to get it out in a positive way. I thought hitting a bag would be perfect.
According to the National Sexual Violence Resource Center, 81% of women report experiencing some form of sexual assault or harassment in their lifetime. That is a large percentage when you think about it. 81%. Something very, very evil that, again, it plagues our communities. But I absolutely love this story because, first of all, the name is super creative. Strong Her. It's just like stronger. I love boxing. Boxing is something that I do just as an outlet. It's super fun. It keeps you in a disciplined mindset, but it also keeps you in the know of knowing how to defend yourself. And when you have women or even men, people who have dealt with some type of sexual violence or some type of abuse in their lifetime, when they got this outlet to learn, not only are they learning skills, life skills, but they're also regaining that strength and confidence and standing up for themselves. Something that this reminds me of, I don't know if you guys remember this movie, but it was called Enough, and it was with Jennifer Lopez. It was one of her first major, I say big blockbuster hits. Obviously, you had Selena and Wedding Planner and stuff like that. But Enough was one of those movies that you were just hooked into it because she started learning how to fight, and then next thing you know, she ended up defeating her abusive ex-husband. So it's stuff like that again, it shows you that there are people out there who care. There's a support system out there for you. There's a community out there for you, and you are not alone in these kind of scenarios. So yeah, shout out to Isha coming up with that cool idea. And again, it's something that I hope is started here on a local level to help people specifically dealing with sexual violence in our community. Moving on over, man, we already know how important blood is and how important it is to be able to give and donate when you can, because it can save many lives. The Western Virginia Labor Federation is partnering with the American Red Cross to conduct a sponsored blood drive. It's happening today It's going to be at the IUE Service Center at 220 Brand Avenue in Salem. Anyone who comes to give until April 28th will receive a $10 e-gift card. They will automatically be entered for a chance to win one of two $7,000 gift cards. Blood drive will be going on from noon, or it went on from noon until 4. And then if you're watching this at 6:30, you know, the blood drive happened. So if you guys want to figure out how you can get in on giving back and donating blood, period, in general, go to our website at WSLS.com. Even though this blood drive is lasting until 4 this afternoon, this afternoon, or lasted till 4. Make sure you guys go figure out how you can give back whenever you can, because this should just encourage other people to know that, hey, blood drives, when they come around, they're coming around for a reason. It's because the need is so critical and it's so strong. Especially, I think the biggest issue that we ran into was when the pandemic hit. Basically everybody stopped giving blood, you know. But now, again, we're constantly in dire situations where if you could give blood, try to figure out ways to do that. Again, we got resources and trying to figure that out on our website at WSLS.com. Speaking of the American Red Cross, you already know 10 News partnering with it to celebrate heroes in our community that are doing stuff for others, putting others' lives before theirs. And today we have the firefighter hero. His name is Dan Bush from the town of Lebanon. While responding to an apartment fire last year, Bush learned that someone was trapped on the second floor. He grabbed a ladder and climbed into the flames to reach the woman and pulled her to safety. Bush says that he doesn't think of himself as a hero, insisting that he was just doing his job. He will be honored at the celebration of Heroes Breakfast, along with all other local heroes, on April 18th at Hotel Roanoke. We'll be telling you all about other heroes every morning on Virginia Today, every afternoon on 10 News at noon, and of course right here on The Sprint. And obviously you can check out their stories on our website at WSLS.com. Well, if you were interested in the whole March Madness thing, I wanted your bracket workout, because if you guys are not living under the rock, you will learn that UConn is still celebrating right now after winning the national championship. So the Huskies beat Purdue 75-60, becoming the first team since 2007 to capture back-to-back national championship. This is UConn's 6th national championship. UConn is the second school to win back-to-back national title games by over 15 points. So we got to give them a huge, huge congratulations, because I know a lot of people were pumped up about that. I feel like these last couple games, obviously, yeah, they're going to be the most entertaining ones of the March Madness series. But, you know, it has brought a lot of eyes to this, I will say, you know, and a lot of excitement. So, again, shout out to UConn doing its thing. Shout out to the women for winning, doing their thing in their competition, their bracket. So, yeah, if you, I don't know if you guys did well or did poorly. Either way, I hope you had a good time doing so. Let's get over to something that you guys can do to get in on some action of helping an organization. Chance to do what you love with a furry friend for a good cause. Ideas behind 4th annual Barks and Rec fundraiser for St. Francis's Service Dogs. You can take part by pledging to do activities like swimming, biking, reading, or even juggling with your pets by your side. Costs $25 to register, and all proceeds are going toward raising and training a service dog for someone with a disability. The group hopes to raise $65,000, and get this, they're close to their goal. All they need is $20,000 more to reach that goal, and the fundraiser starts next Monday. So if you guys want to get in on this action, you can do so. Give back to a big cause, because we all know service animals are very important, especially dealing with our veterans who are dealing with PTSD, our disabled individuals who maybe need some help getting around, walking around, those with very severe mental health, situations. So yeah, do what you can, raise money for an organization that is doing a lot for our community. Now, let's get to our weather, man. Obviously, we talked about how yesterday it was very cloudy, blocked a lot of people's view of the eclipse that was coming through in the afternoon. And today, it's going to be cloudy as well. So let's get right to meteorologist Chris Michaels with a look at our Tuesday forecast.
Happy Tuesday, guys. Scattered rain both today and tomorrow. Going to be very light and, again, very hit or miss. More rain expected in waves Thursday, and that last wave will be a round of storms probably by the evening. We'll keep track of that. On the backside of that storm system, strong wind gusts both Friday and Saturday.
All right, Chris, thank you so much. Coming up next after the break, again, we're getting into the pin it page because you guys sent in some awesome pictures of the eclipse happening yesterday. And again, it's very helpful for people like myself because unfortunately, I slept through it. I wasn't the only one who missed it, but I just happened to miss it because I was looking at the inside of my eyelids. But thank God for you guys pinning your pictures on our pin it page on WSLS.com because you sent in some breathtaking shots. So really cool shots. So we're going to get into that. A little bit of a recap of what all went down in the big historic event yesterday. And we're talking about this bad boy. Again, a homeowner trying to get this thief from stealing his truck ends up finding himself on the hood of the getaway driver's vehicle. And yes, it ended up being kind of a crazy situation. We're going to break down the story in its entirety coming up next after the sprint. Don't go anywhere on WSLS.com. Welcome back, ladies and gents, to the sprint. We are here giving you guys the good stories of the day, kind of taking you a break from the heavy headlines that we see on the daily basis, you know, all the politics and all the war and all that stuff, all the murders. And, you know, sometimes you just want to take a break from it and just learn about what good is happening. We get those comments all the time whenever we post, you know, those awful, hard stories online. People are like, can we just do something positive for once? That's what the sprint is here to do. And the sprint is here to talk about the good stories, the good events happening in our community. For example, the eclipse that took place yesterday. So just a big, huge recap of the excitement that is still going on today. Of course, this right here is footage that we captured on the outside of our station of the eclipse happening, a time-lapse video. But hey, hundreds of people gathered watch parties across our region to see the moon partially cover the sun, just a few minutes. But you had the chance to glimpse it through the clouds. More chances to see the sun disappear, though. Got the full solar eclipses happening every 1 to 3 years, and the next one is going to take place in 2026. It's going to pass over the northern fringes of Greenland, Iceland, and Spain. So don't throw away those glasses, though. Get this, you can recycle them and donate them to other places, for example, other countries that are going to be checking them out. That you can be cautious also on major roadways, too, as people are traveling back from their eclipse vacations. I will say this. My best friend, she actually traveled, I think, to Texas to watch it. She's a meteorologist, so obviously she geeked out. So many people, I think, travel to and from. I think I saw a post on one of the airlines' Facebook pages where they asked the people who are flying, hey, how many people are traveling for the eclipse? And the whole plane raised their hands. So watch out for that. People are going to be traveling back home from that big historic event and all the watch parties that took place across our nation. But again, if you were like me, and you absolutely, you know, mistakenly fell asleep and were thinking that you were going to wake up in time and miss the eclipse, no worries, because if you go to our pin and page, so many people helped us out, had our back. So let's go through some of those pictures. Some of my favorite pictures, these very clear, crisp pictures. This one is coming from the Big Chungus on our pennant page, coming from Roanoke. Says a crispy picture of the eclipse is definitely that right there is look like somebody drew it, you know, or it's coming from a movie. So I don't know what kind of camera you guys do, but that was an absolutely great picture. And then this right here is another beautiful picture coming from Robin Scott. He says that I looked out and captured 2 pictures of the eclipse. The clouds weren't that bad. So, or I think he says were bad, but either way, yeah, the clouds were bad. Kind of gave it like a thriller look, thriller vibe or whatever, you know, when the moon is showing out there. But it is really cool that you guys were able to capture that on just your lens. Like, man, I'm telling you, you guys are some gifted photographers out there. This picture is coming in right now from Kristen. Kristen said this is Eclipse 2024 over Smith Mountain Lake, Virginia. Love that pink glare on it a little bit, so it kind of put into perspective like of how dark it really got in her area. And then last but not least, this particular viewer I think traveled to see this. Check it out. Got a whole totality from Mansfield, Ohio. This is coming from Chef Lauren. Shout out to you for sending in this picture as well. Again, thank all of you guys for sending in your pennant pictures, giving people like myself who missed it or it was too cloudy. I will say that, hey, when I woke up, I went outside and I saw just how cloudy it was, and I thought to myself, hey, I probably wasn't going to see it anyway unless I did travel. But regardless of the matter, those of you who did travel, or those of you who were in areas where you could see it clearly, you snap pictures and stuff, you gave us an opportunity to see it as well. So thank you so much for taking time out to do that. Again, if you guys got more pictures that you would like to send, please go to our website, WSLS.com, and try to pin it. You can select the category and all that good stuff. And speaking of that, you know, Earth Day is coming up. I think it's on the 22nd. So we're having a big competition for all of our insiders. If you got a pinned picture of something of the earth or nature that inspires you in an Earth Day kind of format or fashion, and we select it. We're going to select it random, obviously the best picture. If you send it in, you could win a $250 gift card. So again, we're doing that competition. You don't want to miss out on it because again, it seems like something fun, and it seems like everybody can use a little extra money. I'm not the only one. All right, we got to get into this real quick before we get into the whole crazy shenanigans with the thief trying to steal the truck. Morgan Wallen, what you doing, boy? Okay, so if you guys have not heard by now, country music artist Morgan Wallen facing reckless and endangerment and disorderly conduct charges after allegedly throwing a chair off the rooftop of a Nashville bar. Let's get right into it. Morgan, come on, man. Get your life together, dude. According to the arrest affidavit, Wallen was on the roof of the Chiefs bar late Sunday night when witnesses watched him pick up a chair, throw it off the roof, and then he laughed about it. The rooftop bar sits 6 stories above the roadway. Says the affidavit says 2 Asheville police officers said that the chair landed just 3 feet from them. Chiefs Bar is owned by fellow country music star Eric Church, celebrated his grand opening over the weekend. So here's my assumption. Morgan, come on, man. Look at him. Just a hot mess. First of all, what you doing throwing a chair? First of all, you could throw a penny over a roof and it could fall down like a bullet, you know, because gravity makes that stuff come down fast and it could really, really hurt somebody. Just think of a chair. Thank God nobody was under said chair when it hit the ground. And I know those officers were close by, you know, thank God they weren't hurt as well. But yeah, this is a serious thing, Morgan. You cannot do this. But I did see his mugshot. Fortunately, he posted bail and all that stuff. He was just cheesing from ear to ear in his mugshot. But I'm assuming somebody dared him to do something stupid, and being still a young person the way he is, he did it. I don't know. It's probably that country boy in him. I don't know. That risk-taking mindset. Not excusing it whatsoever. I absolutely think that was the stupidest thing that a person could do, period. I don't care how much fun you having. Don't do that. Morgan, come on, boy. I swear, I love him. I love him, his music and all that good stuff. But this is one of those things where, again, what's right is right and what's wrong is wrong. And you know me, I'm going to call it out. I don't care who you are. I don't care what you look like. Morgan, you need to tail whoop for that. Don't do it again. And don't be inspired by that, because I already know a lot of Morgan Wallen fans out there probably thinking to themselves, I'm going to be like Morgan Wallen, throw a chair, do something very, very dumb. So, yeah. Let that stupid action remind you that there are consequences for said actions. And unlike a lot of people out there, Morgan just happened to have some money, so he can bond himself out really fast. That might not be the situation for your case if you try to do it. So either way, Morgan, get your life together. Still love your music, but come on now. Moving on, speaking of what's right is right and what's wrong is wrong, we got this situation caught on camera, guys, and we got to get right into it. Again, a homeowner trying to stop a thief from breaking into his truck and from stealing it. And then it ended up, the tables turned in the middle of the street where he ended up fighting for his life in a way against a vehicle, a getaway driver. So anyway, we got the whole situation caught on camera. We're going to get right into that story, the full breakdown right now. Check it out.
Eric Smith still can't believe that's him chasing down a would-be car thief when he reviews his home surveillance cameras.
A lot of people are impressed by it. For me, I'm just like, oh, I was lucky.
Smith moved into his South Hill home less than a year ago to cut down on his commute to JBLM. He says it's a quiet neighborhood, but on the night of April 3rd, he got a notification that his car door was open and sprung into action.
I chased him all the way out to the middle of the street here where they were parked, and that's kind of like what they do. They park in the middle of the street. That way they're far away from cameras.
Smith says he wanted to hold the thief down to keep him from getting away. But then things escalated fast.
as I was on the hood, I was like, okay, where am I headed? So I looked back over my shoulder and I was like, oh no, not my truck. And again, this all happened within a split second.
Vehicle theft continues to be a problem across Pierce County. Deputies say the number of these dangerous incidents increased by 27% in 2023, and they expect that number will continue to rise this year.
I had a citizen last week that I spoke with, and their vehicle had been stolen 3 times. And it's frustrating. I think our citizens are getting very frustrated with this.
Meanwhile, Smith says he's glad to have walked away from the encounter unscathed. Can you ever really prepare for something like this?
No, I mean, you can run it through your head several times, and that's probably the best preparation you can have for yourself, because you never know when it's going to strike or when it's going to happen.
All right, so definitely a bizarre situation right there. Thank God nobody was seriously hurt. But if you're looking at your screen right now, you see our boy Eric Smith still right there on our right side. And then there's the beginning of that altercation on the left side of your screen. You guys had a lot to say about this online, so let's get right into some of your comments. Somebody said, this is why we can't have nice things. Yes, because it always seems like we're seeing this story on a daily basis where people try to steal other people's property that they worked hard for. Come on now. I'm just waiting for somebody to really get their tail handed to them by trying to take somebody else's property. Here's another comment coming in. This person says, nice work, Eric. 100% nice work. Again, he took a risk. And it paid off. Fortunately, his truck is still there and not stolen. That is a scary situation to be in. This commenter comes in and says, Buddy has cauliflower ears. That boy was about to get a bleep whooping. And so if you guys are looking at the right side of your screen, there's an image of Mr. Smith right there. And when they say cauliflower ears, that basically insinuates that he is A, some type of wrestler, B, in martial arts, UFC fighting. Something has gone on in his lifetime to where he knows how to defend something. So, yeah, he is a walking weapon. So a lot of people were just like, why didn't he bring a gun out that late? Yeah, he probably didn't need to. He had his hands to do it. This particular person comes in. He says that it's another one. Another person looking at the cauliflower says, I don't think they were expecting John Wick. Maybe they should have invested some binoculars so they can see if their mark has cauliflower ear beforehand. Yes, and if you guys saw the beginning part of that story, you saw he snatched him down. The guy actually belted out in pain. So he got him down on the ground for a second. And then this commenter comes in, last but not least, he says, finally, y'all fighting back. That's the real American spirit. Never let go of your toast. Criminals only stay criminals till you do something about it. Obviously, be careful how you approach every situation, but don't sit there and let it happen. Fight for your right. If you legally live in America, Jack, that's your God-given right. Okay, so yeah. People are on board, all on Eric Smith's side. Some people were just like, man, you should have brought a gun out there. Man, you should have just called police. Some people are also having things to say about the fact that he pulled his phone out and started trying to take a picture and call police on the tail end of that. But to be fair, if it wasn't for the getaway driver, he had the thief in his hands. Like that boy wasn't going anywhere until the getaway driver used his vehicle as a weapon. So we're still following the story a little bit. I don't know exactly if those two people got arrested or were they caught just yet, but I just know if they are, that using your vehicle in that form is attempted murder, in my opinion, because again, that could have ended horribly. But shout out to Eric. He's living to tell the story today, and he still has his truck, even though it has a few scrapes on it. So let's get Jazzy Jazz in on this. Jazz, is that not crazy or what? Like, looking at this video, and I saw your facial expression watching it, like, that's kind of bizarre.
Yeah, it's absolutely insane, but I'm glad that he caught him. But goodness gracious, like, people are getting bolder and bolder by the day. I'm glad that it didn't end as badly as it could have, but the fact that he not only tried to steal his truck, but then he took it upon himself to ram him into the vehicle. goodness gracious, people are just getting out of control. I hope that person pays for what they did, and I hope they have some accountability for what they did. But yeah, that's just too much.
Yeah, no, and it's one of those situations where, again, they're lucky that they're having people who defend them in this way, because any ordinary homeowner who was possibly carrying could have ended a life that night, and now they're able to live another day to change their life around.
Yeah, exactly. And that's what I'm saying. Like, I really hope they're held accountable for their actions. But like you said, they could have went a completely different way. Because if somebody would have saw something like that, an older gentleman that might not have had it in him to put up as much of a fight, like you said, he could have pulled out a gun on him, and it could have escalated and gotten a lot worse than what it was. But just the fact that he not only tried to steal his vehicle, but then he took it upon himself to drive into him. Like, that is just outrageous. I'm glad that he's okay. But that's just out of control.
Yeah, no, you know, the funniest part of that, though, is like at the beginning of the story, you see him pull him down and you hear him like, ah, like you hear the scream. He was like, oh, shoot, I done messed up.
Yeah, he learned his lesson that day.
Oh, yeah, 100%. So hopefully he doesn't do that again. But again, another bizarre caught on camera, always bringing people a view of some craziness that's happening around our world. Jazz, do we have like the eclipse? You know, I know some of our poster stuff that we have, that got real popular online.
We got a lot of pictures. They looked really, really cool. So I got to see it just barely because the clouds were blocking it. But every now and then the clouds would move a little bit so that I could kind of get a sneak or a little peek of it. So that was really exciting. But yeah, the photos really painted a picture of just how historic and how beautiful yesterday was for a lot of people across the country, honestly. So if you took any pictures of the eclipse yesterday, be sure to head to WSLS.com/pin and submit your photos. We love seeing the photos that you all took. They're just, honestly, they really just represent the beauty of yesterday and what it meant for people across the U.S. So we just love seeing you guys' photos, and we'll be showing them off on TV and on our social media platforms. So be sure to send those our way.
Perfecto, Jazz. You got anything else, girlie?
Just make sure you guys sign up for our insider contest for Earth Day. Just make sure you guys send in your Earth Day pics. We're just looking for what Earth Day means to you. So this could be a picture of a sunrise, picture of nature, picture of you going on a hike. Just let us know what Earth Day means to you, what it signifies. Send your picture in through WSLS.com/pin for a chance to win a $250 Visa gift card. So.
Perfecto, Jazz. Thank you so much, girlie. Bye. All right, guys. Well, that does it for today's sprint. Again, thank you guys so much for sending in whatever stories you want us to talk about, because right here on this show, we're all about smiles. We're all about conversations. We're all about those shocking conversations. So, yeah, always about a good time here on the sprint. And again, we enjoy your feedback. So if you go back and you see this episode later, drop your comments in the comment section and we will go and address all that good stuff, because, again, we're all about family here. Either way, enjoy the rest of your day, the rest of your evening. Thank you so much for joining us today on The Sprint. We'll be back here again tomorrow afternoon and tomorrow evening at WSLS.com.